Hi everyone, I'm Christian Kevin. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to customize alert component in ionic. Now, alert components are these small dialogues that display on an application to either request information from user, simply display information to user, or request for confirmation. Now, here on the left, let me show by default. Okay, this is the default representation of an ionic alert component. Okay, now when I said I wanted to do this video on customizing Ionic alert components, someone asked me why is it necessary? Why would I want to customize the Ionic default alert component? And some of you might have the same question. There might be two reasons for that. One is that, as you can see, the Ionic default alert doesn't necessarily fit into your apps theme. You can see here I have the header with the blue color. I have my buttons with some kind of color, but the Ionic alert usually doesn't follow that pattern, as you can see. And I might want my Ionic alert to look like the rest of my components in my application. And the second reason could be that, or is that you might simply want to customize the alert component. You might simply want to make it look the way you want. Okay, that said, we're going to start to do the customization. In this video tutorial, I'm going to be assuming that you are comfortable with Ionic to some extent and are able to create an Ionic alert component. So our focus in this video will be to customize the alert component, right? Okay, so here is the function that creates our alert component. This is the code that creates the alert component. If you are familiar with Ionic and are creating an alert component, then you should recognize some portion of this code. Here is the header, the message, the buttons, and here I've already added the CSS class we are supposed to add for our customization. So to customize an alert component, basically you add this class called CSS class and you give it a value you want. Here we called our own app alert. Okay, so now we need to add the CSS code for this app alert in order to have the modification. So I'm going to go to my global.scss and add this class app alert. Now something I want to show you, you can just do modifications like this app alert like any other class, and you begin to you apply the modification. It's not going to work because this app alert is actually a wrapper around the actual alert component, and so the actual alert component is alert wrapper. This is the, in fact, if you wonder how I know this, then we can just dive into the Ionic documentation to see the instructions Ionic gives about how to modify Ionic alert. I'm just going to take the first link. Okay, and we go down and look for customization. Okay, here customization alert uses scope encapsulation, which means it's basically that. Okay, we come here to code. You can read that in your free time, and you see here alert wrapper is a class on the alert itself, but you can't just target it because it's kind of generic. So we have this our custom class app alert, you remember, followed by this is the way you customize alert components. You can take time and read by yourself. So we're going to go back to our code. So here background blue, we're going to do a small test to see if our changes apply normally. So I'm going to save this and go to view. I think I have it in my Opera browser. Okay, so when I click, we have a background blue. Oh, so it works fine. So, but the way we're going to be working here is we're going to do the modifications on the browser here in the browser element and carry the changes to our editor rather than writing on the editor, coming to refresh, see the changes, going back. If it doesn't, you see, it's kind of chit chatty and it's more tedious. So we're going to do the changes here and we carry the code when we're fine. So the editor first, I'm going to remove this background color I added. Okay, let me remove this and just have our normal empty. Okay, fine. We have the alert component the way it's supposed to, the way it is by default. So we're going to begin to look for what to customize. Okay, you can see here first. You can see the ionic alert component seems to be divided into three portions. You see a header here, you see a body, and then you see the button group. We're going to go through this detailing. Ion alert, delete. Okay, so this is the whole ion alert, and you can see the class alert wrapper which we are wrapping. And you see here we have the alert head, we have the alert message, and we have the alert button group. So we're going to target these individual portions and do the modifications we want to. So let's start with the alert head here, and want to give it a background of, want to give it the same color as the background we have here on this header, and that's our primary color. So I'm going to give it background into background ion color primary. You can give it a normal color if you wish, it's still going to work, but this is to have what we call theme, a good theming in our application. So I can see we are going to give the text color to be white. Let me just say white here to avoid, but normally I should continue to use variables. Ion, I think it's background color. Okay, it doesn't work. I haven't defined this variable as, so I'm just simply going to say white. White doesn't work. Okay, let's check why. Maybe it's wrapped around some other okay, we have an H2. Okay, so it's wrapped around an H2, and that's why. So we need to target but this H2. This is the element we need to target in order to show color white. Okay, fine, it works. Now let's see whether it works with my variable. Background. Okay, it works fine. Now this is a variable, a CSS variable. You can actually put the color you want, not that please. But the reason I prefer to use CSS variables is because you can actually theme your application. If you don't understand that, probably I'll need to do another video to explain detailing about CSS variables, but you can pretty much put white here and it works fine. So let's put white. We have our white color. I think it's good enough. I think we can go back to the alert head and copy this code we added. Go to our view, our editor, and remember we added in app in alert head. What was header? Alert head. Okay. It's alert head. And we added code. And in alert head, you remember we went into H2 to make the color white. So we save and check or change. Refresh. And up, we're good for the changes we've done so far. Okay, so we move to the next part. If you look carefully, you can see this text is too close to the header. So one thing we could do is to maybe give a margin bottom to create some space between the header and the body. So again, we target, say the header, and we add the class here. We add the let's say margin bottom or 15 pixels. I think it's fine. So margin bottom 15 pixels. Again, we carry that to our CSS, our editor. So you see the kind of thing, we see the visual we are okay with, then we carry the code to the editor. It's better than writing code over here in the editor and going to the view, testing whether it's what we want and coming back. It's a bit more tedious to work that way. So I just paste, and I know that to what I'm pasting is what I'll have at the level of the visual. It's going to refresh it in, and we continue the process of modifying. So we come here, and as far as the body is concerned, I think it's okay. It's okay. We have text and it's fine. I think here our next modification should go here on the buttons. So we're going to target, you see, alert button group. Alert button group is what we're targeting. Alert space down here. Alert button group. Okay. We begin the modifications. We can start by centering the buttons. What shall we do? Let's say display center. Okay, we center the buttons. Let's give them a default. No, first of all, let's have a display first. Here we have alert button group. Okay, fine. Now we're going to give borders to these buttons in order, because I think what we want to achieve is have this button having being blue and this one being kind of white, but with the background it's going to be more beautiful. So let's target our and let's try to give a border to our buttons. Let's actually see them properly. Okay, you can see they are pretty much small, which means that they don't occupy the whole width. So to our alert button group, we're going to give a width of 100, occupy the whole width. And to the buttons, we're going to give a width of, let's say 45%, 45, 46. I'm not giving 50% to avoid the buttons to kind of overlap with each other or just joint exactly. So I'm going to carry this note here. I'm on button. This is code for button. And for the button, paste the code. Var, give a color, primary color, and we wait for refresh. Okay, you see it's come out right. These borders are the edges are too sharp. We are going to add a border radius to make it a little bit more round, and you can see our text here is not centered, so we need to make that centered. So again, let's go to our alert button group, and we're going to target alert button group in open the button and there it is. Let's give about 5 pixels. 5 pixels, I think we'll 5 pixels, it's fine. I'm going to try to center the text. Text align center. Oops, that doesn't work. Let's see why. Most of the times when you add a property to something to an element and it doesn't work, it's possible that it's wrapped with another element that prevents it. So here we see we have a span. Let's see. Try to center with the span. Text align center. Still doesn't seem to work. Let's try a display. Flex. We justify content and tell, okay, this one works, so fine. So we're going to copy the code to our editor. Remember here on our buttons we gave a border radius, so we just have that. So 6 pixels, 5, 6, anyone you want, depending on you. And we had in the buttons we had a span element where we added some code. So we wait for refresh. Okay, it's fine, right? Okay, we want this OK button to have a background of this blue, its primary color, and I think that will be fine. So, but how do we? You remember when we apply CSS styles, it's kind of generic. If I apply it to button, if I apply it to button here, it's going to affect both, right? I want the background color to be only on the OK button. So how do I do that? In CSS, there's something called anyway, there's some border radius. Okay, I'm going to target a specific element, but OK button is the second child or the last child. I'm going to choose last child of the button. I'm going to say last child, and I'll give it a background color of primary. Okay, fine, the background color is applied, but the text, since it's blue, it's covered, so we need to make the text white. Okay, just go back and color. So we're going to be using white, color white, and give it the background to make it meet the other one more. Refresh. And it looks good, right? I think we have reached the end of the customization. I think it's cool enough this way. In our next tutorial, we will be customizing models in Ionic. So to be notified when it's released, please subscribe. And of course, if you like the video, please click on the thumbs up. It always makes me happy.